Howdy y'all, and welcome to episode 18 of my Let's Play series, and I am Ragaras. Got a lot to go over today. Not a lot of changes. One major change is the Direwolf pack updated a couple days ago to the and added applied energetics. So that's definitely something that I want to go over. Is that addition? So without further ado, we'll just walk right into the room here and take a look at what I've done. Now, you'll notice that this room has drastically changed from the last episode. This whole room was, 3 to 4 high barrels, pretty much the length of the room. Now, all those items, every single one of those items is now stored in here, in these little devices right here. And this is all from Applied Energetics. I spent a lot of time, and I do mean a lot of time, doing this. This takes a lot of time and quite a bit of materials. This is not a cheap starter type setup for sure. The problem that I have is, even though I have vast amounts of resources, I did not have a lot of quartz, which all this requires. Almost all these blocks require quartz or quartz dust. I am building it back up, running a second quarry now to get a little bit more, and I have I'm probably back up to around 1,000 of each now, maybe, from the last quarry, and now this one I just started. So I'm building that back up, and I will be able to add more to the system. But it took quite a while to put all this together, and it's a pain in the butt. The biggest pain is these storage drives. These things require a lot, probably a little bit more than a stack and a half of quartz per one of these big drives. A little less for these 16K. I was running low after I made this the sixth one, and moved down to the 16K drives, which I really didn't need yet, because as you can see, even with all the items that I pulled off all these walls, out of all those barrels, it didn't even touch that. So let's go over a little bit about what this system is and what this system does. All of the Applied Energetics networks need this controller unit first. Direwolf 20 has a really good 2-part mod spotlight on Applied Energetics. If you have not seen that, I would strongly suggest going to check his channel out, and just do a search on his channel for Applied Energetics. And like I said, he's got a nice 2-part spotlight. I actually watched his, and I watched a few other guys. One was Mondef. Watched his spotlight. He had done a pretty sizable system, and he has a few episodes where he's dinking around with it, trying to get it to work the way he wants. The one thing that I took away from all the videos is a little bit more logical setup of your drives, and the way that these drives store information. It seems to work best if you pre-format these drives, and for that you need this little thing right here called an ME pre-formatter. All your recipes, of course, are right here in NEI, so I'm not going to cover any recipes, but just keep in mind they do take a lot of resources to put everything together, and for a lot of these things it's multiple combines to get it to the final product. You may need several different pieces that you have to construct first. But what we do with the pre-formatter is we take one of these drives, and it can be blank or it can be full, and you just bring it over here and you put it into this little section right here, and then you take the items that you want this drive to store and you put them in here, and these are just ghost items, and then you can name it. And let's say now I want to come back and add something to this. I could just come and add it in here and then format it, and it will add that right in to that drive. So once that drive is formatted, it will only hold the items that you specified in the pre-formatter. Now what that does is it gives you more room for single items, because if you look on the website, it seems like if you use up, like, let me see, I've got a drive down here. This one is not formatted, and there's 58 to 63 different types in there, and it's taken up a lot of room, but if you look at the this one here, this is my ores, where I've got a lot of ores in there, but there's only 17 types. This is a pre-formatted drive, and I think the way this works is the fewer items you have in there, the better off you are, because I think each item has like a formatting cost and then a cost for every 8 or so items that are in the drive. So what I did was go in and format these drives to, this one stores ores, this one stores all the gems and that sort of stuff, redstone, etc. This one just stores all the blocks like sandstone, cobblestone, dirt, those types of blocks, wood. This one was just for, these two are just pretty much miscellaneous. The reason that this one was full, it was 63 of 63, but what I did is I went in and moved some of those items after it moved all the items from the barrels into the drives. I moved some of these items that I felt should have been in different drives, and moved them out of there. And a couple, like this also had all the quartz crystals in it from Zycraft. They fixed that bug where it doesn't have all the different metadata values. So I went and changed I got rid of, instead of 6 different stacks of items, I got it all down to 1. So that's where a lot of those came from. I was getting rid of those extra stacks of quartz. So all these store items. All these right here are items. I can pull those out. I can even turn this off, and then those items are still there. Now this control unit tells everything that's attached to the network currently and the amount of energy it's being used. So that's pretty cool. You notice I have a power lever there and a power lever here, because if these are on, then it attaches it to the network, and then it starts drawing power. And since I'm not using these right now, I see no need to draw power from the network from it, so I just leave those off. Those are for crafting, and I'll go over those in a minute. This, of course, is your access terminal. This is what this shows you everything that's in the network and accessible. Everything in these drives. This is like a drive bay, drive rack. Everything in here is accessible, and this is an ME chest, which has a drive in it, which allows me to just sit here and look directly in the chest. I have the ores one in here right now, since this is what I typically use the most, and I can just go in here and grab them without having to go over here and search, even though you will see they are accessible here also, because they are also linked into the network. So that's an ME chest, and in here we have the crafting monitor. We'll go over crafting in just a minute, but this just shows when we're crafting, what the current job is, and if it's missing any materials, it will be displayed down here. So if you know you need to fill it up with something, or it's missing something, you'll see it there. Now these are the ME monitors. These are currently set up to be able to click them and get the items out. So I can just right click that and get a stack of redstone out of there. The downside of these is they're not like barrels. You can't put items into the network from these. You can pull them out and you can see how many are in there, but you can't put them back in. You have to either use the ME terminal, or the ender chest over here will also put that in. Items, right now I have a query running. You can see items every once in a while flip through there. They go through so fast. But how this works is we have an ME interface. You can also use this to export items out. And then you have the processing line down here, which is used for crafting also, and I'll show you that in just a second. The router is set up to extract from this chest and then eject it into this block right here, the interface, and anything going in that interface is immediately just put right into the system. I did some tests, and I watched MonDef do some tests. It is quicker to use this router than the import bus to draw items out of a chest. So I did do some checking with that just to verify that for myself, and that is true. This is much quicker. Of course, it has all the upgrades. It has the speed boost and the bandwidth upgrades in it that make it really fast. So let's talk a little about crafting with this system. This is pretty hard to set up, as far as this is a lot of material right here. Each one of these blocks, and this is again a multi-block structure. It seems to be the latest fad in modding, is everybody has to have their multi-block structure, and that's what this one is. Why it needs to be multi-block, I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of cool if it was just another item that I could just fit right, say right there. And there are upgrades on the inside. The inside is not the same blocks as all these outside. Inside you have computer cores, which speed up the crafting process, and then pattern buffer assembly chambers. These hold all your recipes, basically. I'm probably going to redo this and take out a couple of the pattern blocks and then put in some more computer cores, speed up the crafting a little bit. I've only got 4 of the computer cores in there right now. But the way this works is you use a pattern encoder. You'll come in here and you'll put your pattern in here. Now the downside to this is it's not like the Zycraft Fabricator, where you can just click on the question mark and it puts in your pattern and then you encode it. You've actually got to have the items and then put them in there. And of course it's just a ghost item, but you do need to have the items made to put in there. And then the result will show here. Once you have the result, you'll just put your blank pattern in there and hit encode, and it will turn into one of these right here, which is an encoded assembler pattern. And we'll talk about what these are for and how they work in just a second. Now, one thing to explain for this is if you put something in here, let's say like iron, and you're looking to get refined iron, you need to have a piece of iron and a piece of refined iron. Because if you just take a piece of iron and you put it in here, you're going to get the iron nuggets right here. So you need to override that with the refined iron block and put that here. So you're telling the pattern that I want refined iron from an iron block, not the iron nuggets. Okay, that's real important, because if you just put a piece of iron in here, it is not going to give you other options of what to do with that. Alright, so once you have your patterns, you're going to put it in one or two places. If it's just going to use like a crafting table, it's going to go in this giant crafting table right here, or the big ass crafting table. We'll just call it the bat. No, we won't call it that. If you're going to make an item or recipe that requires smelting or say pulverizing, right here I have a powered furnace, and right here I have a pulverizer. Now again, I have the ME interfaces you'll see over both of these, and down in the bottom in the processing you'll see recipes. Now if I hold down shift, you'll see what they are. We have refined iron, glass, rubber, this basic processor, and silicone. So what will happen, these are absolutely required. This is a can I click that thing? Import bus is on each side of these, and what this will do is this side puts in, so you'll come over here and you'll say, okay, I want We'll change this to craftable. Oh, I don't have anything on. Hold on. Let me turn these on so they'll show up in the network. Okay, so we'll go over here to craftable, and we'll see everything that we have that's craftable. And if I want to craft, let's say refined iron, let's say I didn't have any in the system and I wanted to make some, I could go over here and click on craft, choose the amount, we'll just say 1, and begin. So what it will do is then pull a piece of iron, and it goes through the network into the powered furnace, and we already missed it, and then it's pulled out and put back in here, so we know that's done. And we can do that for any of the items that are in the system, that are attached to the network. So this one is all just, hopefully they're going to expand this, because right now I'm thinking, if I want to process like ores, I'm not going to have enough room, so I would probably have to make another powered furnace just to hold all the ores to process. Now I have plenty of room here, but I have a lot of things that need to be smelted that don't need to be pulverized. The only thing I have right now in the system that needs to be pulverized is coal dust, and that's to make solar panels. Now the neat thing about this system is if I want to make a low voltage solar panel, it is going to, if I don't have anything in the system that needs to be made, you'll see that I have all the subcomponents also in here. Copper cable, the electric circuits, everything to make the solar panel is in here. This needs, one of these needs 8 solar panels and then a low voltage transformer. So if I choose to make just one of these, it's going to make enough of these to make one of those, which is kind of neat. I don't have to sit here and say, okay, I want so many of these, so many of these, so many of these, so many of these. All I got to do is click this one, and it is going to make enough of everything else to make one of those. I have not got it all the way up to the high voltage yet. I need to add those recipes, but I do have most of the. I need to get the medium voltage in first. I have all the parts in there for it. I just need to add the final recipe for the medium voltage solar array, which shouldn't be a problem. I think I have 16 low voltage in there right now, so should be good to go on that. This again is your crafting table. Everything is in here. If you want to see what items you do have in there, all you gotta do is hold shift and it changes. There are, where is it? ME pattern providers on the inside. Each one of these pattern providers gives you these spaces right here. So I've got a lot of room in here right now. I don't think I'm probably ever going to use that much room. So I'm probably, like I said, going to pull a couple of those out and then add, I don't know what it's called, crafting CPU. I'm probably going to add like 2 more of those to speed up the crafting, because the more advanced, like the solar panels, will take a little while. But the nice thing about it, like I said, is it pulls right out of all this inventory. My previous one, that what used to be over here, if you remember, there used to be that solar panel factory there, which is now gone. I would have to sit here and feed this ender chest right here, and there just wasn't enough room in it to do a full stack of anything. So I was constantly feeding it in there. It was doable, but this is a lot nicer. I can just set it to make, say, like if I wanted to make 1 HV, if I had it all programmed in there, I could just tell it, okay, make me 1, and then I could go about my business while this thing did its crafting. That's pretty nice. Now there are other items in this mod that I have not used yet. We got the IO port, which I may want to do later as I adjust some of the drives. I may format a few more of the drives just to get everything clearer, smoother. Um, crafting monitor I've got. So most of this stuff I've used. This is just my setup. There are a lot more uses for this. I mean, you can access your barrels. If you want to use barrels, you can actually. There's a there's a connection like this import bus here. Um, is it called an import bus? No, I think it's storage bus. Uh, is the item you slap that on the bottom of a barrel, and it will utilize that barrel just like it would a drive, I guess. I wanted to go strict, just use this mod to store everything, so that's what I've come up with. I have all these drives. I have these 416Ks that aren't even being used just yet, and then of course I have this drive in the chest just so I can access it. I didn't want to have to come in here and again type everything. Um, I have so many items out here, just single items, that I did not want to put these in a chest just because they're kind of one-offs. I don't have a lot of them, and generally it's left over. Most of these items are items that are left over from projects that were an experiment and just didn't happen, or um, I did have it utilized, and then I improved it and changed it, and like I said, most of this is just a lot of construction stuff, items that I just don't want to store, uh, just because each one of these items would take up more than I want, and then this, of course, is just everything from um, oh shoot, what is that? Twilight Forest. Doubtful that I'll ever use most of it, but it's there just in case. So most of this stuff I probably will not put in storage. But that's applied energetics. I think it's pretty cool. I am currently running this off of Minecraft Joules. I'm using my main power right here to supply it power. Didn't want to run a big cable over here, so I just used an energy tesseract. Not seeing any major problems with it. It doesn't make a huge drain when everything's off. It's probably around. Whoa, where's my multimeter at? Okay. It's not a major drain. We can go over here and take a look. That it's around 16 a tick, 16 MJs. Well, that's a little high. That's probably everything's pulling all at once, though. Yeah, it's not normally that high. Wow, that's really high. Why is it so high? Huh, that's weird. So the only thing that should be pulling on. Oops. Stop. That's only pulling 6. Huh. Wonder why that's pulling so hard. Well, this is on. And that's probably on over there. What else do I have running off of that? Oh, am I running the... I'm also running the... well, we'll go show you that real quick. A new item that I added over here, down in my power areas. All my bee product was coming over here to this chest. Bees, combs, everything were coming over here. Sorry, I was getting a birthday text. So what I did is I set it up to pretty much take care of all the combs. I need to probably just need to void pipe these bees. I've got so much DNA that I don't know what I'm ever going to do with it all. Until they come out with some new bees, or I decide that I need more DNA. I'm pretty good right now. But all the combs, I've got so many rocky combs and so many watery combs, and just from the emerald bee and the diamond bee also produces rocky comb, and I'm getting quite a bit of that. So what I did is I redirected all the copper combs, the wet combs, since those are less prolific as the rocky comb. This one is just doing rocky combs here. But I can, upgrade this and add more to each one. I didn't want to go small and then need more, so I just added 2 in here for now. And the liquid honey is pulled out of each of these, and it goes over to the squeezer. Okay, let me get rid of this thing. It goes over to the squeezer, and the squeezer then pumps it into this multi-tank. It's not major fast, but it's I'm not running all my bees. Like, I'm not running the industrial, and I'm not running the imperial right now. I'm not running any of the pure or vis bees. The only thing I have running right now is stained, which gives Rocky and ink sacs, and then the emerald diamond and the copper. Yeah, that's the only ones I'm running right now. And the copper bee's a little disappointing. This is like a day. Literally, that's like a day's worth of copper dust. Those things produce way too slow. I mean, to even I would need to run all my apiaries or alvearies with copper bees to for them to even be remotely useful. I mean, I have them running right now, but I may just get rid of them. No real point. So all the items from now the squeezer, one of the byproducts of squeezing is propolis. It is pulled out and it's run over here into these pipes, and then of course all the byproducts of the centrifuging, the propolis, the beeswax, the copper dust, all that then comes over here. You may be able to see a void pipe back over there. That's doing the watery propolis. I don't need water. That's one thing in this game that is absolutely free in one way or the other is water. There's always a way to get water. Why can I not fly up? What's going on here? Come on. Yeah, hello. What the hell? Come on, up. Okay, is there something there? Jeez. That was crazy. So that's what I added there. Now on the for bees, I also added a to my in my farm over here on the distilled bees. My chest was starting to get a little full on that one down here. Chest was starting to get a little full, very close to being completely capped. So I went ahead and added an iron gate here and 2 iron autarky gates on the wooden pipes coming from the alvearies. And what this is going to do is this is set up that if there's space in the inventory, it's going to leave this red pipe signal on, which will allow these to run. Now, as soon as this fills up, it's going to shut off, and these guys won't pull out any more combs. And if the bees are at the end of their life cycle, they won't reproduce and keep making combs until this turns back on and puts them back in there again. Pull that out. So that's just going to keep this from me coming down here and getting assaulted by a bunch of oily combs. We've also started in a new area. Now I'm a little upset because I did it the day before the update to the direwolf pack came out, and it was new chunks at the time, and little mad at myself because I wasn't paying attention to them talking about any updates, and if I had, I wouldn't have started over there just so I would have gotten quartz from my mining there. But I didn't, but I did start over there, and I'm not going to just abandon it to because I'm not going to have quartz. You know, if I probably am not going to use the energetics storage anywhere else other than the main base. It's just so complicated, so expensive to put together. I don't want to have to do that again. just to make those drives, I had to set up, you know, a series of 5 fabricators just to put all that stuff together. So that was kind of a pain in the tuchus. But again, once it's all together, it's kind of cool. So this is my new base. I just flew around until I found kind of a neat area. It just so happens that I didn't even think about it until I started digging down that this is an Extreme Hills. I did not think this was an Extreme Hills when I came here because, you know, these aren't what I would call extreme. But I didn't even look. I just, there was a kind of a cave right there, so I just utilized it, made a little kind of house cover, and got started. Now you'll see that I have my little Steve's Card farm out here. This is one of the first things that I always do when I come in. I find it just the easiest way to get started is power. Power is always seems like that's the problem is how do I get power? How do I get fuel? Well, the easiest way that I have found so far is to get you a Steve's Cart wood farm up and going. So this is one of the first things that I always build is the cart assembler. As soon as I can build one, that is my material goes into that before it goes into anything else. So I get that going. I had hoped when I had started digging my mine, which is down in that area, that I would run into a like I did over at the farm, is I would run into a mine and be able to pull up all the track. Not so fortunate over here. I did not run into one, so I did have to go ahead and make a coke oven. Not a big problem. I mean, it's just brick and sand, so got a ton of that right over there, enough to put that together. So we went ahead and made just it doesn't take very much to make a I only made 64 tracks, so it barely took I don't know, like 8 maybe 8 bottles worth of creosote to make the 64 tracks. So it's pretty worthwhile. I did make some steam engines. These are again pretty good engines to start with. Now the first thing that I'm concerned with when it comes to machines is getting better results from the ore that I'm mining. I don't want to just get 5 ore and then smelt it and then only get 5 bars. So the first 2 things that I always make is some sort of macerator and some sort of furnace. And now of course here we have the pulverizer and the powered furnace. Now the advantage to these things over the IC2 macerator and furnace is I don't need rubber. Rubber for me is just an extra step for IC2. These are a lot easier to get going, and you can probably do it a lot quicker in the game. I don't have to go out and find rubber trees. I don't have to make copper wire, and I don't have to refine iron to make electronic circuits. These are pretty straightforward, easy to go. They're a little slower. You'll notice that in my main base I typically use the IC2 now, just because they're so much faster. Once you slap in all the upgrades and the overclockers and power upgrades, they zip along quick. In fact, the tubes, the Buildcraft tubes that I'm using right now just don't keep up with the speed of those machines. Kind of heard rumor that they were changing the pipes to where they would pull a stack out at a time. If that's true, that would be really, really cool. That would make those pipes so much nicer. I'm trying to stay away from red power as much as possible right now, just for some of the bug factors that are in there. So if they could really improve the Buildcraft pipes to pull items at a time, that would be super. So if you're not familiar with the steam engines, each one of these produce 2 MJs a tick. The furnace takes 2 a tick to work, and the pulverizer needs 4. So what I have is 1 steam engine going into the other steam engine, which goes into here, and that gives it its 4. and just one here. Now I did have a rolling machine hooked up to this one just long enough to make the rails. I think I made 2 sets of rails, 16 rails, something like that, to make the tree farm outside there. But I put that away and went ahead and slapped this down. And this is set up right now just to pulverize into this chest. But what we can do, the cool thing about these again over IC2 is they don't need pipes to work together. You just put this one down and you set it this one, which is where the pulverized ore will go to, will then immediately go over here to the furnace and it'll be powered. And then from this furnace is set up to go into this chest. So everything that gets smelted comes out in this chest. But the pulverizer sometimes will come out with additional material. You may get, I think with gold you get like lead, or you get different materials that will come down in this little spot right here. Sometimes this can screw things up if it's a non-smeltable item, and it could clog up your system. So I always set it to go over out to the opposite side, so anything that ends up in this little box right here comes into this chest. So that's the way that's working. And this is an area that whenever I start in a new area, I bring all my tools and everything with me, but I don't use any of my resources from another area. That's just kind of my own rule that lets me start semi-fresh. I'm not limited to stone tools or anything, so it's a little quicker going. But I don't have access to all the resources that I have over there. I can't just come over here and say, well, I'm going to build an entire sorting system, and I'm going to build all the machines. So it's kind of like starting new, but with the bonus. So I've got my low level mine, and then down here, of course, I have got to find that skeleton. He is driving me nuts. I hear him all the time, and I can't find him. I'm going to find that sucker off camera and kill him with prejudice. And then, of course, I've got my lower level mine. It goes way down there a bit. Doing pretty good with ores. I don't know if they up the what you call it, the copper and the tin. That was when I started in the other site, the main base. That was always a problem for me, was copper and tin. Doing okay with copper and tin. The quartz that I started a new age to quarry the quartz, and it seems pretty prolific. I don't have to. It's probably more common in redstone right now. I'm pretty happy with the rate on that. It's pretty good. It's not it's not crazy, but it's high enough where it's out of the largest core you can get, you're going to get quite a bit out of there, enough to do something with it. So not unhappy with that at all. So let's go back over to the main base, and it's this one. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much what I've been doing. A lot of it was spent, of course, it was the the Easter weekend and had that going, and then well, we had some family birthdays before that. March and April are the worst for me. They're worse than Christmas, because everybody in my family's birthday is in March or April. All the anniversaries in March or April. All the celebrations seem to be in March and April. Those are the 2 months that just kill me, with presents and parties and get-togethers, and then of course you got Easter in there, and had a fabulous Easter dinner. That was very, very nice with the whole family, my kids, the parents, everybody. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate some of the comments everybody's been sending. Some of the private messages that I've got, really appreciate those. Hope these things are helping you out. like to get a little bit more feedback if I can. If you've got something that you don't understand, or if you've got something you'd like to see made, or anything that you'd like to get my take on it, just let me know. Fire that out there. Love to see if I can help you out if I can. Any new challenge is super. I'm actually thinking about maybe changing over to the Ultimate Pack. Of course, it's got Greg Tech, and I'm not a big fan of Greg Tech. You know, I suppose if I did use Greg Tech, or went over to Ultimate and used Greg Tech, I would just turn off all his alternate recipes. You know, I don't mind him adding a mod, but him changing every single mod just irritates me to death. But I'm pretty happy with the Direwolf pack. It's got a lot of neat things in here that I enjoy, and with this latest little thing here, this is a couple days with me messing around with this right here. Expect to see more as I understand this more and understand its functionality a little bit more. I haven't had this mod very long, and I think I did pretty well with not having a lot of time to mess around with it, but this is really just using other people's knowledge and experience, and then you know, I'll definitely play around with it and see what all I can use it for. But that will probably be in later episodes. So until then, I hope y'all enjoyed. Please leave a comment, a like if you would. It definitely helps me out. So I appreciate you coming by, and I will see y'all next time.